Hello there, good evening and welcome to News Night here on Metro Television. My name is Desmond Okreku Dan. So we've got stories for you in the next 1 hour. Let's take a look at our headlines this evening. Now, coming up, security enhanced at the University of Ghana campus after violent clashes between students of the Mensa Saba Hall and Commonwealth Hall left several properties destroyed. We'll be live from campus as we bring you details. And also coming up, some residents of Bubuashi forced to sleep in the open 2 days after fire gutted the apartment. We'll bring you the details on that story also this evening. And the Ghana Union of Traders Association laments worsening economic situation is taking a heavy toll on their businesses. We'll get to talk about that later on the show. And on the international front, talks are underway to end the latest violence between Israel and Palestinian militants, which has killed at least 36 Palestinians since Friday. These and many more stories coming up in this bulletin. Many thanks for joining us this evening. We are live on Facebook at Metro TV Ghana and also on Twitter at Metro TV GH. Let's begin from the University of Ghana campus, where there is heavy security presence at the university campus following a clash between students of Commonwealth and Mensa Saba halls. And the incident, prompted by an inter-hall fight between the residents of the two halls, resulted in injuries and damages to properties. My colleague Shadrach Odamijare is at the university campus and joins us live. Good evening, Shadrach. How's the mood on campus this evening?
Well, Desmond, I am currently on campus. I've driven through some of the halls already, and the place is quite calm. You can barely see students on the streets. Most of them have gone out for their lectures. Others are also, you see people on the streets having their everyday exercises. But I've been joined by the speaker for the University of Ghana, and then he is also a member of the Commonwealth Hall. So currently, I am here at the Commonwealth Hall. We'll start from here, and then later on we'll also get to the Mensa Saba Hall and then speak to them. Here I have Eugene Isajima. He is the PRO for the Commonwealth Hall. I also have Paul with me. Paul is also the president, or the JRC president. I'll first start with Eugene. You are from this hall. Can you recount any happening prior to the whole clash we witnessed?
Well, on that said day, that was Friday, myself and my friend Kenji Yabwa were away for some duties, so we were not on campus. So we came back around, I think, 10 p.m. in the evening around the university, not in the university, and then find out that there was a clash at Mensa Saba Hall. Well, we got to the scene very late, at about I think 1 a.m. We got to the scene very late, and we found out that there was a clash. I mean, per what we saw, it meant that there was a clash, and we saw some cars bent and all that. So that is what that's what we saw on that very day.
Okay, let me find out from Paul here. Paul, were you here when the whole thing started?
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. So Friday, we went on series of sponsorship drive for the JCL, so we came back late. So we're very tired, myself together with my executives. So when I came, I just came to sleep. So when I woke up in the morning, that is where I saw people posting clash between some students around Saba Hall. So that is where I got to know that there's some disturbances somewhere around Students' Union building, and then Mensa Saba Hall, and then Central Cafeteria. That's what I know about everything.
But you are more so the father of the hall. After the whole happening, what were you able to gather? What did your people tell you was the issue?
Okay, yeah, thank you. So just in the morning when I woke up, I went straight to the hall, went room to room to see how the environment is and how students are faring. And um, everybody that I spoke to was fine. Everybody was fine. Everybody was calm. It looks as if some also got the news early morning, just like the JCI president also got. So everything was calm in the hall. Everybody was fine.
Okay, but Eugene, you are the PRO. Did you gather anything that might have been the cause of this whole clash?
Well, as a public relations officer of this very noble hall, my duty is to, as you said, get the facts on the grounds and then disseminate that very information to the members of the JCR. So, as I said, I got to the scene very late because I equally had to gather the intelligence, as you said, not really intelligent, not I mean intelligence, but I had to gather the information necessary for me to be able to speak to the issue whenever I'm being called. So, I got to the scene very late, didn't see anyone at the scene, came back to the hall, slept. In the morning, I saw the news. I saw some from My Joy News, some from other media houses that there's been a clash between Mensa Sabah Hall and Commonwealth Hall. I mean, looking at the situation and the atmosphere in the hall I think it happened on Friday night. On Saturday morning, that was just yesterday, I couldn't tell that indeed something had even happened. Okay, so, well, I think you are going to be the first media house we've spoken to. Okay, from here we would move to Radio Universe. They started calling us. But all we can say to the issue is that since I was not present at the scene and I got there late, I didn't see any Commonwealth person there to be able to speak to the issue, saying that there was a clash between Mensa Sabah Hall and Commonwealth Hall, as per the release by the university management and others.
Okay, so but then I've seen your release out. That is your hall trying to take itself out of the whole situation and not accepting to the fact that it was a clash between Commonwealth Hall members and then Mensa Sabah Hall. You are just taking yourself out of the situation. Why so?
Well, so as I said, as a PRO of the hall, I need to gather all the necessary information to be able to speak to the media, to be able to speak to the university about the whole situation. Per the information I gathered in the morning of Saturday, and looking at the atmosphere in the hall, nothing. You can't tell that residents of this hall went out to have any fight with anyone. As more so, now you can't say that residents or maybe a section of people from Legon Hall goes to Accra Mall, rob them, and so Legon Hall has gone to have a battle or maybe has gone to have anything no sitting to do at the mall. That cannot be said. And so if you have a crop of people, I mean, just a section of the residents of Commonwealth Hall descend down there to even do such a thing, you can't relate that to the whole of Commonwealth. And I know
you are saying that even if there has been some form of misunderstanding or chaos between a section of the residency and then maybe that of Sabah Hall, it doesn't come to represent the fact that it's the whole of Commonwealth Hall going against Mensa Sabah Hall. Is that what you mean?
Well,
it's not like you are saying it. What happened is not supposed to come out as a war between the two halls.
Well, I'm a student of statistics. We do sampling. Okay, sampling does not always tell you a true reflection of the population. Okay, so, well, the university can conduct a survey or can conduct an investigation, probe into the issue, find some residents of this were culpable. Okay, that does not in actual sense mean that it was a collective idea of the hall to go fight anyone from Mensa Sabah Hall. And I'm even sure, and I know, not even sure, that residents of this hall are noble gentlemen who would not even descend down there to have fights with them.
I mean, it's just some individuals who had their issues there and then they went to settle it.
Well, we can take it from this angle. It could even be people from Medina. It could be people from East Legon who descended down there to have fights with the Mensa Sabah residents. Okay, I'm not even saying that there was a fight between a section of people and Mensa Sabah Hall residents because I was not at the scene. It could be that there were a section of people trooping in from diaspora, section of people trooping in from TF that gathered there to have the fight, because I was not there.
Let me not cut you, Eugene, but let me find out from you, Paul. You are the JCR president. How would you measure the current security status of your hall after the whole thing happened? What is the security situation here in this particular hall like?
Okay, so as we are talking now, everything is fine. We just woke up today to see policemen around. Actually, that has not been the norm, but for some sort of reasons, we would have to accept that that is the current situation on campus. And so if you see them around, they are not to harm us, but maybe protect us. When I woke up in the morning and I went around, there were no indications showing that any of our students went out to cause, the clash or to cause commotion anyway. Nothing of that sort.
But are your people here fine? Are they okay? Do they feel there is some sense of protection for them?
Yes. We are all safe. Everyone is safe. In fact, just as I said, police are around, so everybody in the hall is safe now, and we are all comfortable now.
Eugene, you are doubling as the speaker of the university. Okay, so let me also find out from the general student body. After this happened between two halls, and then I think we've seen these clashes, if not only in Legon, we've seen it in other places. In looking at the general outlook, security for your school, how would you measure it? Do you think people have there's been some form of panic? People are being double-minded of their security here.
Well, I would want us to rectify that. If you say clash between two halls, I don't think you mean Commonwealth Hall, because we've dissociated ourselves from the said incident. Commonwealth Hall did not go down there to fight Mensa Saba. We have taken ourselves out of the whole situation, and that is our stand. Now, to talk about the security on campus. Earlier this morning, we saw some policemen trooping in. We saw some around the hall. Well, I must say that some students or some residents of our prestigious hall are not okay with that kind of action, because it poses threats to some of them, and some of them cannot even go out. You know, there are some particular students who, by just seeing a security man, feels very, very uncomfortable. Okay, so in as much as the university would want to bring the policemen or external forces on campus to, try correcting the wrongs, they should also think about the students in the university. Some of them are not comfortable at all. Okay, and then to talk about some students who are not residents of this particular hall, like those at the diasporan halls, those at the TFs, the North Campus, I think they do not have any challenge. I, for one, should have held a session yesterday around 7 p.m. at the Union Building. But I'm a resident of the Commonwealth Hall. Okay. It is very possible that per the information out there, that it was Commonwealth that came out to do such a thing. If I go on to even have a sitting at the Union Building, which is closer to the Mensa Saba Hall, I'm putting my security at risk. And so I cancelled that sitting.
But what is the school authority saying? Have you had a roundtable discussion with anyone?
Well, we've not had any roundtable with the university management. Now, we saw a circular today, I think today or yesterday, that the university tells the university community, or the students and everyone, students and staff, that there's been a clash between Mensa Saba Hall and Commonwealth. That is the only notice that we've received from the university, asking students to be calm, that they are going to restore peace and then ensure that academic work moves on smoothly. That is the only notice we have received from the university management.
Okay. So that is it from the PRO of the Commonwealth Hall, Paul, and then from Eugene, and then Paul, who is the JRC president. The school, I've seen other posts on Twitter where they are cautioning students, especially female students who would want to throng the various halls, to be cautious, and then if the need be for them to go there, they should go there with other colleagues or go there with friends so that they can be assured of their security. But this is one side of the story. We've seen it from the Commonwealth angle. We would later on visit the Mensa Saba Hall and then find out from them what their side of the story is. My name is Shadrach Odami Ejari for Metro News, Accra.
And that was Shadrach from the University of Ghana campus, where the leadership of the Commonwealth Hall say that they disassociate themselves from the clashes that took place on Friday. Now, let's stay a bit longer on this as we speak to security consultant Richard Kumado on how we can actually solve this particular situation. Hello, Richard. Good evening, and thank you for joining us here on Newsnight.
Thank you.
Great. Now, University of Ghana, it's happened there in the UCC, in the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Things like this have been happening. How do we solve this finally?
No, number one, there has to be a proper engagement during the orientations with student leadership, particularly at the highest level of the halls we are talking about, Casford, Unity, Katanga, and Commonwealth. And once those discussions are addressed properly and in line with student regulations and what policies governs good behavior and the ramifications for bad behavior, I think it will help the situation. But coming back to Legon, you know, there has always been these crashes and tensions, subtle ones between Commonwealth and Sabah. For a very long time, we've not had any of these crashes. And my own check shows on University of Campus that University of Ghana campus that I think something might have gone wrong. And I have so much trust in the leadership of the security at the University of Ghana. And I'm so hopeful that they will address it, investigate it, and deal with the perpetrators, particularly when the vandals are disassociating themselves from the crash that took place.
Okay. With respect to, you know, the happenings and what the university authority come up with, do you think there are knee-jerk reactions or they actually are proper reactions that will put an end to these things on campus?
I think the university authorities have been sleeping for some time now. The history between the vandals and the Sabah or Katanga Unity, it has been there before we were born. And many of these guys at the helm of affairs, they know it, they experience it. Whether you are in the Volta Hall, you are in Legon Hall, or you are in Akwanfo Hall, now they are even building new ones. This is something that has existed over the years. It's also part of the university culture. And that is what makes these two halls very competitive, not just at the level of violence, but at all competitions. And I'm saying that let the authorities descend. They should not wait until something like this happens. Then they begin to react. You remember there was one other one where the students were complaining and grumbling and they were agitating for how the halls have been badly managed and the total number of people they were packing into the halls. The university authorities went sleeping until Kofi Annan got to the premises. And I think one of the halls went naked as they usually would do, or they demonstrated by singing against Kofi Annan. Then the university authorities came and said, we are making Commonwealth Hall a mixed hall. That wouldn't solve the problem, and that wouldn't stop them from agitating for student unity and student leadership on campuses. We know it, and I'm saying that, yeah, these are grown-up guys. Let's engage them meaningfully, and let's also ensure that particularly when they are demonstrating using anger to address misgivings on the part of authority. Let us not come with a strong cutlass and cut off their heads, because, hey, those guys are the helm of affairs in national leadership, in every aspect of society. You will find the vandals and the Casford and the Katanga and all that. And they even tell you Casford is a university on its own. And those are the issues involved. So I think we need to be passionate about it, yet we have to be circumspect and prudent and be seen as people who are willing and able to address some of these issues promptly as possible, instead of reacting and getting it wrong all the time.
Now, looking at the universities, the leadership of the Commonwealth JCR was talking about the fact that there could be some people from the towns, talking about Medina, Islegoni, UCC, others will mention Amamoma and the other towns. In KNUST, Kote and the others, how should the university authorities make sure that you do not have people outside the university getting into campus and being part of such things?
That is why the university authorities will need to take their security managers seriously. Go to Legon and find out whether the head of security has been at the highest level of decision making. Go to KNUST and find out. Recently, the KNUST leadership was saying that the female students are on their own. A disgraceful and a disdain statement from the highest level of authority. When you have had security officers manning the university, once people have been admitted, and you grant them access to the university, you owe them a duty of care. And it is the responsibility of security management to manage both properties and the lives there. And I'm saying that they should look at their exit and entry policies again. You have university where students are struggling and the leadership of the students are sleeping. They have better halls and these guys are sleeping on trees. And you are teaching them and expect them to understand something. Sometimes when they get so frustrated, they agitated through some of these ways. And we have psychologists in many of these universities. Let's begin to take counseling seriously. And yet leadership must also begin to address the issues.
Thank you very much, Richard Kumado, for speaking to us. And Richard Kumado is a security consultant helping us understand some of these issues as happened on the University of Ghana campus on Friday. You're still watching Newsnight here on Metro TV. Now let's do some of the stories. And the United States ambassador to the United Nations, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, has commended President Akufo-Addo for his contribution to peace and security in the West African sub-region. In a meeting with the president at the Jubilee House on Saturday, the U.S. ambassador expressed the gratitude of the United States of America to President Akufo-Addo for his sterling efforts in peace building.
Ghana has been a stalwart and steadfast partner to the United States, and we have very much appreciated the opportunity to work with you. We also want to express to you our strong support for your efforts in dealing with the situation here in the region. As president of ECOWAS, the very tough sometimes decisions that you had to make to deal with situations in the region, particularly as it relates to Mali. Mr. President, on Ukraine, as you know, and you've heard the President say, as well as our Secretary and myself, we're deeply concerned by the growing crisis caused by the war in Ukraine. We believe it's a war of choice that was made by Putin, his disproportionate actions in terms of attacks on civilian infrastructure. And this war has had a very significant impact on the continent of Africa, including here in Ghana. I had an opportunity to talk with farmers in Tamale today actually, and hear from them some of the challenges that they are facing in the agricultural sector. They are not able to access fertilizer, and of course the high price of petrol.
Intention on our part to depart from our position, continue to hold fast to this position.
You're still watching Newsnight here on Metro TV. We're taking our first break. We'll be back shortly. Please do stay. Welcome back. Now, residents of Buwashi in the Okakwe South constituency have been forced to sleep in the open after fire raised down their building on Friday. Some have been separated from their children as they had to send them to neighbors or other family members. Several properties were also destroyed. Eyewitnesses say the fire started from a residential apartment. My colleague Job Laboja joins me on Zoom, and he has been interacting with some of the affected persons. And well, let's speak to him on phone. Job, good evening, and thank you for joining me on Newsnight. What have the affected persons been telling you?
All right, Winston, as you rightly said, the incident which occurred on Friday morning has affected several residents here. And in fact, when I got here, they told me, though the authorities came here earlier to take details of what happened and to assess the situation, but they have not received anything yet. And if you know how NADMO works, sometimes it takes some time before they come back with some relief items and all that. But then I realized that it is 5 separate families that have been affected, and a remedial school right here in front of me. So the 5 structures or the 5 rooms are completely burnt down. And I engaged some of the victims, and they are telling me that it has been difficult since the incident occurred, and they had to even distribute their kits to some of their friends around so that they can have a place to sleep. So as I speak to you now, some of them are sitting down in front of their rooms, and in fact, they look dejected, and they look so sad, and it's kind of pity. Okay. They tell me all their clothes, some of them, they couldn't even remove anything from their rooms. All their clothes were bent and all that. So I have with me one of the...
Okay, Job, can you hold on and let's listen to some of the affected persons.
Sana ba ntimba embeto ina fire service cars be mi no press ha o mo dumu jano iti amena mi ko wura dem o mi nema ina hye hwe anka apart from atare a hye me any phone e wo mi bottom enu kwani ade a hye aka mi bottom nyama e wa ha ina hye obi biara wa ha dan a wa ha ina ni ina hye dan bia ni ho a it is wo mo a emben jano but ya jano kan
Now, Job, have they mentioned to you if officials from NADMO have been around, or authorities in the area have come around, and what sort of help has been given to them?
All right. So as I said earlier, they told me NADMO people were here on the first day, but they have not returned yet. And they also told me that the member of parliament for the area, in the person of the name I can't, Dakwan Newman, MP for the Okakwe South constituency. She was also here, but there were some commotions here and there, and then she had to pick her car and then run away. I spoke to the PA of the MP, and he indicated that because of the disagreements between the victims when the MP appeared, that was the reason why she left, and they will be returning here probably tomorrow, so that she can see how best she can support some of these people. So the voices you actually heard there were 2 persons. That is, the guy there is a married man, whose house got burnt, and then that's Osman. He's called Osman. And the other lady is Georgina. And Georgina actually indicated that all their things, the things that they were able to bring out, has been taken away by thieves and all that. So that's the situation here as I speak to you, Winston.
Okay, thank you very much, Job, for the updates there, and we'll come back to you for some more in our subsequent bulletins. You're still watching Newsnight here on Metro Television. Now to some other stories, and the chief of Wakpo in the Adan traditional area, Nene Agbasi Jikunu Akwe III, has bemoaned poor performance by pupils of the Wakpo Basic School at the BC level due to the lack of adequate infrastructure. He has therefore called on stakeholders to support, help improve the academic performance of the pupils. He made the call when he handed over a renovated residence to the headmistress of the school, including mock examination materials and dustbins.
Yeah. The best student in the Wakpo Basic School who sat for the BEC exam scored aggregate 29 as the school's best grade, a performance which was not different from the last 5 previous years. This poor performance, according to the headmistress of the school, Etonama Medeka, is as a result of the lack of adequate infrastructure. Teachers walked to the school either tired or late due to the long distances they commute as a result of no accommodation for them. The school has no ICT lab and classroom for the KG department.
Our performance is actually not the best, but I think the children are really putting up their best because the facilities are not here for them to learn. Talk of computers, we don't have any computer. We just have the one that the administration is using. So when a teacher is even teaching ICT, how do you demonstrate that to the class?
We have 1 copies, which is teacher's copy. So if you do your research as a teacher, you get into the class, you have to write lots of notes on the board. And I think if we should get a lot of textbooks for the kids, it will speed up the learning, because when we don't get enough textbooks for them, it eats into the instructional time.
The chief of WACPO, Nene Agbasi Jikunu Akwa III, touched by the plight of the school, has started an initiative to improve academic performance. He's organizing a free mock examination for the JHS students and has renovated the headmistress bungalow to enable the headmistress to stay on campus, aimed at improving academic work. He also donated mathematical sets to the candidates. Spokesperson for the chief, Reverend Nathan Akwa, tells Metro News the chief is dedicated to improving the academic performance of the school.
And next term, God willing, when school resume, he will continue to support the school because BEC too is at hand. That's why he brought the mock, so that they'll be able to test the children their level of understanding before the number examination.
He said his next project is getting a decent bungalow at WACPO for the teaching staff who live outside the community, adding he's intended on getting that done by the end of this year. He, however, called on stakeholders to support the project.
Still on education, now out of 51 public basic schools in the Tema metropolis, only 15 have computer labs for effective ICT teaching and learning. This, according to the Tema Metro Education Director, is worrying. It is on the back of that the Member of Parliament for Tema East, Isaac Ashayo Dampton, has commenced a project to have ICT labs established in such public basic schools to enhance the learning and teaching in his constituency.
First beneficiary of the Ashai ICT agenda is the St. Albans Anglican Basic School at Tema Community 1. The school has benefited a fully furnished computer laboratory with service geared towards boosting teaching and learning of computer skills. Isaac Ashaya Dampton at the commissioning said not only does the initiative seek to establish computer labs in all basic schools in the constituency, it also aims at training teachers and circuit supervisors with ICT knowledge to ensure effective monitoring and teaching of ICT. He further explains the core of the initiative.
Nti woba ompotem na wa hwɛ sɛ nkonnwa mpo ankora betena so de esua ade akora bi ni hɔ na yentumi nka sɛ yɛ ho akyerɛ nti nneɛma ehia ɛma yɛ school nkora no besua ade no mu nsanka nti na me ne Director of Education Madam Bernice Ofori aka bom sɛ yɛbɛhwɛ the priority areas ɛwɔ ɔmo schools no mu.
The Tema Metro Director of Education, Bernice Ofori, who received the facility on behalf of the school, said the computer lab has come at the appropriate time that only 15 out of 51 basic schools in the Tema metropolis have computer labs. She explains that a number of 15 available computer labs are even malfunctioning, making the teaching of computer knowledge difficult in the schools.
The children are not able to get the opportunity to have hands-on experience on the usage of the computer and what they can even do. Sometimes they are able to explore their talents by using it. They know what they can do. But when they don't have that opportunity, then they can't determine what their future could be in terms of the IT technology.
She, however, called on other stakeholders to help improve the teaching and learning of ICT in the public schools.
Now, still on education, but now to the Eastern region, where 21 teaching and non-teaching staff have been honored for the outstanding performance in 2021. The award scheme was instituted by the Ghana Education Service and the Eastern Regional Coordinating Council.
At the awards ceremony, Registrar of the Scholarship Secretariat, Dr. Kingsley Ajiman, commended the hard-working teachers for their outstanding contribution towards quality education. He said over the past years, government has rolled out policies and reforms aimed at improving education in the country. He therefore implored stakeholders to play their roles to ensure excellent performances at all levels.
Let us hail our teachers, of which my mother was one, and administrators who have seen the light and have worked to bring about greater service excellence and innovation in the education sector, despite the difficulties and challenges along the way. I eagerly await the societal transformation that these advances will bring, as that is the true litmus test for these awards.
The Eastern Regional Director of Education, Margaret Nsia Asamoah, said the Ghana Education Service will continue to team up with dedicated staff working in various institutions to bring the best out of them.
The Regional Directorate has been recognizing and appreciating the hard work of our staff through the Teacher Prize Awards at both the district and regional levels. What makes this Excellence Awards unique and also a novelty is the scope of operation. That's the recognition of students, schools, and other individuals whose contributions to education in the region cannot be overemphasized.
40-year-old Daniel Ejari Breno, a physics teacher at Ebri Presby Senior High Technical School in Ikuapem South Municipality, was adjudged the best teacher.
We are not the only best ones that we have. There are many of the best teachers and workers who are in the region. And because of this, you are going to unearth all those talents. You are going to see them because they will present their work.
He received a certificate and a Toyota Yaris vehicle, which was donated by the Registrar of the Scholarship Secretariat.
And we're taking another break. We're back with business, sports, entertainment, and international news. Please stay. Welcome back from the break. Up next is business news. In our first business story, the Ghana Union of Traders Association has bemoaned the increasing spate of businesses collapsing in the country. According to the union, the results of the current exchange rate situation in the country has caused businesses to seriously bleed to death. According to them, businesses have reached a situation where its survival is seriously threatened if no immediate action is taken by the government to find solutions to the issue. The union, in a statement, called the attention of the government to the fact that the depreciation of the cedi against other major trading currencies is getting out of hand, and the increase in the monetary policy rate is also leading to high lending rates in the country. Guta is asking government to reconvene the Foreign Exchange Committee that was set up a few years ago by the Finance Ministry, which involved all relevant stakeholders to help find immediate solutions. Now, the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority has impounded a busload of electricity prepaid meters allegedly smuggled into the country. The 28-seater Kia Grand Bed bus with registration number AS 972321 carrying passengers and goods from Aflao to Kumasi was intercepted at the Asafo Labour, a popular bus stop in Kumasi.
According to the sector commander of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority in the Ashanti region, the officers found 117 prepaid meters hidden in the air-conditioned unit and other compartments of the bus at the customs barrier at Kubeasi, near Ejiso. A team of customs officers attempted to stop the driver, but he failed to comply. However, the team alerted the other officers and the bus was later impounded at Asafoleba in Kumasi. The bus and all passengers on board were conveyed to the Ashanti Regional Headquarters of the Customs Division at Amakum.
And when they tried to look into the bus, they realized that the cargo hold was packed with sugar and other items, which we suspected were on custom. Upon further search, they realized that there were some hidden compartments. I mean, especially on the top of the bus. They realized they have stopped the place with meters, prepaid meters, made in China, which we suspected were being smuggled from Togo.
Meanwhile, a team from the Electricity Company of Ghana, after inspecting the smuggled prepaid meters, said they were of inferior quality. Public Relations Officer of ECG in Ashanti Region, Grace Gershon, expressed worry about such meters which, according to her, are often installed illegally to affect the operations of the company.
This one, you see, when they bring it here, it will be on the grid. If, for instance, if we have not been informed, it will find itself to customers or potential customers' premises, and they will be using it, drawing the power without paying until we go and find out. We have men who go out to do these things, but it takes some time when you send them out. Definitely, if you know that it is here, you go straight to that place. But in this case, we have seen it and they will not be used.
She, however, commended the efforts of the Customs Division of the GRA for the arrest and said it will give credibility to intelligence on illegal meter infiltration, which she noted affected stable power supply.
And that's all for business. Up next is sports news. Let's begin with the Commonwealth Games, where Ghana's Joseph Paul Amoah has exited or has expressed his joy after securing a bronze medal in the 200 meters of the ongoing 2022 Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. Amoah finished third in an interesting race, which was won by Jereme Richards.
I mean, yeah, it was a lot to deal with, but I have a great team around me. You know, they talk to me, they you know, gave me more like motivation to come out here and concentrate on this and not worry about what happened earlier in the day. It was very disappointing, but I just wanted to, you know, stay mentally tough and not deal with all that pressure. I know I drew a very good lane, and being in lane 5 means you could feel those coming from 1 to 4, and you could actually see from 6 to 9. And I wanted to use that to my advantage. The fans are also, you know, very loud, and I was trying to use that as a boost for myself when I got into the straightaway. So I'll say it was a very, with all the pressure that was there, I just wanted to execute and stay in my lane, focus on the line, and try to reach for it. Yeah.
Now that's all for sports. Up next is entertainment news. Now in entertainment, award-winning Ghanaian rapper Gambo has teamed up with Tanzanian bongo flavor star Young D, also known as Young Dar es Salaam, to release his first East African collaboration. The song, titled Sio Simple, was recorded in Tanzania and marks the beginning of Gambo's ambitious agenda to position himself as a continental superstar.
On his maiden tour of East Africa and arrived in
Sio Simple. Simple.
The Vodafone Ghana Music Awards on Sang Act of the Year 2022, Gambo recently embarked on his maiden tour of East Africa and arrived in Tanzania on July 11, 2022. Whilst on his tour of Tanzania, he teamed up with Tanzanian music star Young Dar es Salaam in the studio and recorded a song titled Sio Simple. The Boys Higher Wild rapper used the tour to market himself to the East African music lovers as well as promote the Ghanaian music industry as he embarked on media tours both on radio and TV. So Simple was produced by Tanzania's award-winning music producer, Mr. T Touch, and is a follow-up to Gambo's highly successful Settle track, which featured Kete. So Simple has garnered over 13,000 views on YouTube since its release 2 days ago.
Now from music to comedy, where Nigerian comedian Kenny Black has revealed to Metro News that it takes a great deal to be able to make people laugh at comedy concerts, looking at the perception of people of comedians. He also spoke about adding music to his craft as a comedian.
There are still some people who feel like, nah, this guy is not funny, I've heard this joke before. Nah. So it takes grace of God to make somebody laugh, because a lot of people are coming from maybe depression. A lot of people came out tonight because they've been through a lot. A lot of people just want to be happy. They want to naturally be happy. So it takes you never can tell what makes people laugh. You never can tell. So I'll just say it's the grace of God and miracle. And I think comedians are magicians, because it's not easy to say a word and it goes direct into their hearts and comes out from their mouth. Even Mr. Easy knows it's not easy because it takes a lot of creativity, you know. There's a music industry where the musicians take a lot of time to write the songs, and there's another industry of a comedian takes a lot of time to write the jokes, the punchline, the sinking, the build up and everything. But I have to do both, you know. I have to bring the music to the comedy, I have to bring the comedy to the music. It's not always easy. Even watching myself sometimes, I'm like, how did I do this? How did this happen? So I would say it's not easy. If you want to try it, then I think it will explain itself why I said it's not easy.
It's let me go. I know you know. I got to know, but I want to know. How did you do? Anytime when you come.
And that's all for entertainment. Up next, the latest updates on the international front.
In a packed 30,000-seat Nyaho Stadium in Nairobi, Kenyan presidential hopeful William Ruto has been rallying his supporters. The rags-to-riches businessman used to be seen as the establishment candidate, but after losing the support of Uhuru Kenyatta, he's now fighting back. 4 more ships carrying grain and sunflower oil have left Ukraine port via a safe maritime corridor. Millions of tons of grain have been stuck in Ukraine due to Russian blockade, leading to shortages and higher food prices in other countries. The latest ships to set sail are bound for Turkey, where they will be inspected as part of a deal reached with Russia and the United Nations. The Vodafone Ghana Music Awards on Sang Act.
And that's all for the news this evening. Many thanks for joining us here on air and also on social media. I am Desmond Okreku Danso, and do have yourselves a good night. We'll be back tomorrow. Bye.